Hi everyone, I'm Dimitri, just an INTJ, and today again, walking with my dog. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day outside, not no humidity. Well, walking with my dog on a leash. Um, there was this kid coming with his scooter in the park, and the kid was he was having some difficulty to drive to maneuver the scooter. No problem, he's a kid. And I saw that, and I saw he was running in a straight line, driving in a straight line. And we were close to him, and there was a bush. And I was with my dog, so I held on to him on a leash. So he stopped for the kid not to have that problem to solve, like a moving obstacle around me while I'm having difficulty maneuvering myself with no obstacles, you know. So I stop my dog, I wait for the kid to pass, and then I continue my move. And as he does that, I start to think everything I'm gonna say in this video, because that's how INTJs go through stuff, I guess. So as that happened a lot in my life already. I stop for someone to pass, and I go, like walking the street, right? It's like I had a music professor. He once said, "When I see you walking on the streets, like everyone is in slow motion, and you are because you're fast and you're goal oriented." And so as I did that to that kid, I started thinking, okay, problem solved. So why? Well, I know why. It's the introverted intuition. INTJs are always looking at life, searching for problems to solve in everything. So, because that's what our brain does. That's what our brain does. It looks for problems and solve them, and then what? And it goes into a standby situation where it ignores the outside, as there are no problems to solve, and it starts talking to itself to create and generate problems and solutions. And so when I'm walking on the streets, if I see obstacles, that's something my brain feels like fun to do. It's a problem to solve, and it engages in that activity quickly. So I'm walking, I start to see paths, I start to see where I have to go, where are those people walking, what's the speed this is walking, this is what's the path I have to go, what's the gap they generate between them and where, because I have to be in that step in the sidewalk. And that's why we're good planners and tacticians, and well, into sports. Or I'm a good coach because of that. I can see those things naturally. And the thing is, the weird thing for us is that people are not thinking that way. So people do not respond at our as we would expect them to respond, because we kind of hope that one day they will understand after something repeating itself, like people colliding on the streets. We see two people collide and we think, okay, I think they learned some out of it, and they will not repeat that. But they don't. It's like people never learn some things because they do not understand them as problems to be solved, I think. Let me know what you think about this. So I see most of the time, and I always tell that to people, okay, blah, 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 this is a problem to be solved like this. I see people have a problem saying things are problems to be solved, because problem is this bad thing that kind of has a solution but really don't. So I have a hard time accepting that people don't really want to solve some problems in their lives. It's hard for me to get that, hard for me to live with that, but well, you gotta live with that. And what I found out about problem solving on INTJs, well, we are just looking at the world and trying to connect things and generate the step by step, right? And it happens a lot with INTJs that we develop a concept, we develop lots of concepts, okay? We go enhancing our knowledge on things. And one day we hear a phrase or someone puts an idea through a different perspective that's really important for us. That's what we learn in our lives to do so we can learn better, to look at things from different perspectives. So someone says something in a different perspective, like a phrase that make me realize a lot of stuff. History is told by the winners. It's written by the winners. When someone said that to me, or I read that, or I don't know, I had a lot of concepts, I had a lot of ideas, I kind of knew it, but when you hear it that way, so clear, so sharp, so that's the point. You're like, okay, thanks. You connect a lot of spots and you make sure, and your foundations are harder because you just got it that way, that confirmed a lot of things you have thought before. So basically, some information for INTJs are in end spots that we didn't yet see until this point. And when this end spot is placed, we already had this. We recognize a star spot because we have this knowledge already. And it's easy for us to generate the step-by-step through that separate those 2 points. So a lot of things get connected naturally. We're just receiving information from our brain. That's introverted intuition. My brain's like doing the job for me. My brain unconsciously doing the job for me consciously. It's sending me information and insights that, oh, look at that, that and that might do that. And you're like, yeah, thanks, I'm doing that. So growing up as with an INTP older brother and smarter brother, I can recognize his IQ. Well, we did the test, but it's recognizable after you're an INTJ. You learn a lot about intelligence and how it represents in people, how you can recognize it in people, and it's recognizable that he has a higher IQ than I. Like Stefan Molyneux, for example, I think he's an INTP. I don't know if he talked about that, but for they talk easier. It's easier for them to talk because of extroverted intuition. They just talk, and it comes naturally. For INTJs, not so much. We gotta talk through introverted intuition. So we gotta decodify. Well, you understand what I mean. Decrypt the information that intuition sends me into words. That takes a little time and steps and discipline and learning, and not impossible, but not natural. So growing up with an INTP smarter older brother, 4 years older, and INTPs, they learn through a whole different process than us. They don't recognize steps or patterns. They don't do that. They collect information and they build a vast world of information because they never stop seeking them. And they know better where to seek information, and they are fast in knowing if the information is false or not. They recognize the little information that is there, the details that say it's false or not, are true. what makes sense. Sometimes one word shows the writer isn't really concrete on something, and they know. INTPs know. They read and say, "No, that's trash." No, and I'm like, "What?" But there's that. We are confused with all the problem. That's why I've never been a reader. I don't know. A lot of INTJs say they love books, and I hate books. I hate reading because I focus on every problem the writers suggest to me, and I'm overwhelmed because stop, solve one problem at a time, and make a stair process of steps. You know, do it right. Teach me right, correctly. Well, people don't teach that way, so that's why I never wanted to learn from people in a reading, writing way. Because don't do that. Do whatever you want to do, and I will learn from your experience. I will learn from watching you. I can watch. I can judge things myself. I can separate what you're doing into steps and understand better than you what you're doing, really. INTPs do that with INTJs. My brother did that to me lots of times. He told me a lot of information, and I told him the step by step between the points he was giving me, and he got a lot of other insights from that. So the thing is, growing up with an INTP, older and smarter brother, I got a lot of information because that's what he do. He analyzes the map, right? In actual games today, like where you have to uncover the map, right? In open world games, for example, you have to uncover the map. That's the INTP. He goes uncovering information, collect all the information about it, judge if the information is right or wrong because they know how to do it, and they do it logically. They can explain to you, oh, this is false because of that, and this connects to this other. They're genius. And when that is offered to an INTJ, in a fun and motivating way, because INTPs motivate us to talk. They challenge our brain naturally because they go presenting stuff to us, and we like to think about it, and they present problems that for them are philosophical, and for us are just because of introverted feeling, are just a value question that no, I don't do that because of that. And as they don't have it, it's good for them to hear it too, because they don't have that perspective. They don't have the fee perspective. They don't have the introverted feeling. They have the extroverted feeling. They are more like into harmony and well-being of everyone. That doesn't make them socialists at all because they're a totally logical person. They are libertarians. But they come to that through a different path than the INTJ. And when we competed against each other, and I love comparing things to competition because that's where you get the most of people. So in video games or anything, we competed against each other. It was quite clear the difference and pace of learning and the concepts one learned before the other. And for example, I learned things faster because as I learned through experience and pattern recognizing, when one thing happens, the other thing happens, the third thing happens in a game, in a video game, for example, there's a pattern between them, and I recognize the physics, and I can apply to a fourth possibility that hasn't really happened, but I know more or less how it will be. And when it happens, I get more conclusions about the other three. So I grow like this fast. But I'm centered in the problems the game is presenting to me, and my level is allowing me to notice. Because as you get better, you start to notice new details in game, and you start to learn new things. So really, the INTJ mind learns from less to more naturally. We know we have to take a little and go to the fundamentals of something to then expand, and then expand to the core, then to the sides. We know that naturally. But INTJs don't do that. INTJs are like playing one thing for a lot of time, competing for a lot of time, and they go evolving. For me, it's very different and rare way that they get better in something and then they stop and they start to do something else and it doesn't work, and we're like, what you doing? And they are trying to solve, to find a resource in that possibility that will find another resource to another possibility. They're thinking, because they're thinking of possibilities of what if, what can I do if, what can I do if, and we're like, dude, where are you going? Because the problem is here. And suddenly, for me, for an INTJ, he got a lot good and better than me in some games, because that's normal. Some people are better in some challenges because they are more motivated to solve those problems, and some people are better at other challenges and they're more motivated to other problems. That's why it's so interesting to know about personalities, so you know where people would go to naturally solve problems as they want. So, for example, people are really into games, and we are really into games. People who listen to me and will want to listen to this. So, Smash Bros, for example, he was better than me, and after years I played again, and maybe I could get better than him because I got a lot of knowledge from him that allowed me to try new possibilities too, because we are not really into new possibilities if we don't see a clear pattern from the already existing possibilities that we know to the ones we don't know. But in other games, in other challenges like first-person shooters or something or stuff like that, being very tactical, INTJs are superior because we're really focused. I really need to focus on the game. I need to be like this on the game, 100% on the game. I can talk. Whenever we talk while playing together, I'm not in the game anymore. If I'm into the conversation, if I'm on a topic, I can play. I don't have this bifocal attention. I don't have it. He has. He can do a lot of things at the same time. I can't. So when I'm playing, I have to be 100% to get 100% of my performance. And that's what we like to do. INTJs like to be 100% into the situation because, as I told you, we don't know how to be 90 or 80. We don't know. So we're not comfortable with that. We're not comfortable dividing our concentration. I want to be 100% in things. That's why we don't like people that don't take things seriously, for example. There's a lot more to talk. I'm going to stop this video right now. But I'm going to make a new video on this because there's more to talk. I just don't remember right now because I thought a lot about this. And there's a lot of more things to talk. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, INTPs, INTJs, everyone else who just listened to this and want to take an opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about, do you see things as problems to solve? Do you generally stop in your life to think, oh, I could solve this, I could do this better? Because we are always doing that, and INTPs help us a lot because they give us a lot of new information we wouldn't seek for ourselves, and we need this information to learn because we learn through patterns and trying and committing mistakes and succeeding, and that's the INTJ way of learn. Oh, about books. I don't need to make another video. I just remembered about books. Why I'm not into books? It's very quick. I need to see what you're doing. I don't really understand things the way you understand. So when someone is trying to explain to me through words, they are using only their perspective, and that's not enough for me. That's not enough for me to really understand something and absolutely understand something as I like to understand conceptually, as I like to understand in a way that I say to myself, okay, no one can teach me about this because I got it. I got it. I got it. So when people try to explain with their words, I'm limited by their perspective only. But when they show things to me, when they do things by my side, or I'm with you and I say, do it, show me. As he does things, I can recognize things that he didn't recognize he was doing. The focus he gives in some parts, the focus he doesn't give in some parts, the energy he invests in some parts. And from there, I'm not saying now I'm a specialist, but now I know what questions I have to make to you, so to get the answers I need for my process of learning. And books don't work that way. They're not organized that way. They are, people explain the mid before the beginning, and people are not really good on explaining things. So I have a hard time with books. I'm not at all motivated by them, at all. I can listen to audios. I prefer to see. I prefer that people shut up and show me. Well, now let me know what you think about everything I said, about the INTJ perspective on life, on problem solving, about everything I said about INTPs, how they search for knowledge, how they are always asking themselves what if and searching for new possibilities. And let me know more about your interactions, if you're an INTJ or an INTP, with each other. How did you learn from your INTP or INTJ fellow? And let's keep talking.